Recently, I have promised you that I will prepare a video and a blog post on what to do with skyrocketing CPMs on Facebook, right? So one thing you may have noticed is that CPMs are increasing, and some people say this is because of the Black Friday, corporations spending their budgets again on Facebook and or US elections. But the bottom line is that CPMs rising is a fact. And regardless of what the case is, it is super important that you act right now in order to make sure you can sustain and scale your brand. And the first thing you need to do to save your business is obviously do not freak out. And then the second thing you need to do is you need to figure what you should actually do in order to figure how you can save the business. And I'm not here to talk about Facebook optimization or much about creative on Facebook, because this is something you know already, but instead I'm gonna give you a few tips that are hopefully will help you improve your business profitability. So first of all, very easy thing you can do is you can raise your prices. When you raise your prices, you basically generate more profit. Something you have to watch out for is that you're not decreasing your conversion levels up to the point of diminishing results. You can do this when you do not have a loyal customer base, customers that know you, because they may not like the fact that you're actually raising the prices. But if you have this ability, this is usually a very effective thing to do. Second thing, which I see most e-com store owners are not doing well enough, is utilizing your email lists. First of all, you can do monthly email blasts, but second of all, there's plenty of sequences like cart abandonment sequence and so on that you can start using with tools like Klaviyo, and that can help you immediately. Then the third one, but this is only in the case of your product having a wide market appeal, you can try running ads on native platforms such as Taboola and Outbrain. Again, many times overlooked, they can be a very profitable channel. Only thing to remember is that those platforms are best to run with an advertorial, so it's good to have something like this. When we have run our mask business, we basically relied 30 to 40% on Taboola itself, and the tendency is that once you nail the formula, you can scale this pretty much for as much as you want, because this is how the algorithm is structured. You do not get the same roadblocks as you do on Facebook, so this is why it can be very effective. The next thing is to focus on your creative. Oftentimes they're massively overlooked because people do not really understand how important creative is, right? So the first thing you need to do is see what worked for you in the past, and then you need to plan the content according to your budget limits. But there's really a lot you can do if you're serious about creative, right? Like first of all, you have the right creative strategy, you can start implementing those creative on platforms such as YouTube, Hulu, Snapchat, and TikTok. There's plenty of amazing platforms that are currently being underutilized. And because it's not so easy to make a good creative, the competition is usually not as high on these platforms as of Facebook as of yet. For example, one of the strategies we have done was to use YouTube for driving cold traffic and then retargeting this traffic on Facebook and Google, which seemed to be very cost effective and increased sales by 2 times as much for one of our clients within around 2 months. The next thing really easy to optimize is looking at your website load speed times. Oftentimes we could see up to 20% drop-off rates from click to the website visit because of the loading speed times. And if you were able to reduce these drop-off rates from, let's say, 15 to 5%, this immediately gives you around 10% bump in the sales you're making. So that's a very easy win to do. The next thing you should be looking at is to increase your average order value, and think about how you can do this in terms of bundling the products together, playing around with your shipping policy so that you incentivize people to add this extra item to their cart, as well as implementing pre and post checkout upsells. Finally, the last one I want to share with you today is thinking about your retention, namely what else you can do in order to make customers buy in your product. There's plenty of options, including subscription-based model, having a newsletter with new product releases to make them interested in the offer, and so on. Just make sure to pick the right approach and implement it. As a result, you'll be able to spend more to acquire a customer, which Facebook is a great platform for, because this is where you can really create the intent. And this also lets you think more in the long term, right? So these are just a few ideas I have for you today. And please remember that everyone's e-commerce business is unique. It requires different solutions. But basically remember one thing: if you actually sell a product that people want, there's almost always a way to make things work, right? Not a good product, no way to make things work. Good product, definitely a way to make things work. So that's something to keep in mind, in the back of your head. And I really hope that you will look at some of these things I talked about in order to drive your profitability up. Obviously, if you want, you can also reach out to me. I can help you evaluate this business for free, and we can see if there are some things you haven't noticed that can help you increase your profit margins.